Test, test. You good? Test, test. Good. Cool. Okay. Okay. Let me just get everything sorted out here. Um, okay. That I know. Uh, that, why? All right. Those titles on YouTube are so freaking wonky. Okay. Well, whatever. I'm going to start recording in a moment. Let me just make sure the audio is still there. Oh, start recording in a cool. All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, hold on. I'll put on some background music this time. Just something to something there, you know. Cool. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of the show. There's a bit to talk about this week. Basically, we have some Path of Exile news. We have some Diablo stuff to go over, and there's some light Lost Ark news, and I think a few other things. But anyway, starting with Diablo. Diablo 3, the current PTR just ended. Well, is going to end. You know what? I can start that over. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. Retry. I'll just delete the old recording. I'll be able to see it. Okay, starting again. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of the podcast. Got some Path of Exile news, some Diablo news, and a bit of Lost Ark happenings. So we'll just go kind of through everything. I'll get Diablo 3 out of the way. Essentially, the current season is going to end on July 18th. I'm assuming the next season is going to start on July 23rd, which we'll get to why that's a little bit of a crazy day later. But basically, the ethereals were in. I got to try them out a little bit. They were kind of fun. I think they got basically slotted into having separate purposes, so you could basically guarantee that one of them was for damage, another one was for toughness, and it was just kind of up in the air for the last one of the 3 per class. I didn't get to try all of them, but I did see the theme running through them to kind of like show what was going on. I played a wizard and a barb for the PTR just a couple days. Got pretty high level on either of them. I even have a guide for the channeling build I was using, which is on YouTube. So definitely go check that out. The season, like I said, is probably going to be July 23rd, which is going to be season 24. And those ethereals will be in. And really, it's just like shout out to Diablo 2, which is coming out in September. And that's going to be kind of in the middle of this Diablo 3 season, as well as the Path of Exile one. But there's not much else to really say on that. So I think I mentioned this last week, but Diablo 4 has its quarterly update out. Last week was an audio only episode, but I'll pull up the art and everything here. Just give me one moment. And I will show you guys what is going on. It's okay. Changing screen now. All right, so here is the updates page for Diablo 4, and this is the quarterly update. Last week I said it was just going to be about characters and art, and really that's all that's in here. Essentially, it's going through all of the art and how they're saying it's all coming from the game engine. Everything is rendered there natively, and they kind of looked at how they did it in D3, where they had the pre-rendered scenes, but that quality should show up in game as well. We'll still have pre-rendered stuff, but there's also going to be a mix of the pre-rendered scenes and ones with our actual characters in the mix in the cinematic, so that should be fun. But let's scroll down. So here we're seeing the rogue, and we're seeing all of the different like flavors of rogue that you can have. A lot of minor differences and a lot of like really big things going on here, but they do appear to be wearing kind of the same outfit. It's just sort of changing colors. The hair changes, eyes. The scars on this character are kind of in the same places, but everything around that seems to be somewhat different. Even the like nose shape is a little varied, which is really neat. But it is going to focus a lot on customization in the character screen. Pardon me. So they're saying here we've made massive improvements to the level of detail, the surfacing of complex materials like skin, cloth, hair, fur, metal, even down to the details of highlights of the eyes and rivulets of perspiration. They have a barb here, which I believe that is looking good, and this is going to be like the base wardrobe screen that you get in game. There's a really neat sorceress here. All this stuff is obviously pre-alpha still, but it looks like it's coming along very well. Here they talk about the dark fantasy of the rendering versus the realism they want to bring. So they talk about following PBR rules. I know I'm just kind of skimming over a lot of this, but this part is worth mentioning with the dyes and the different materials. So this is cycling through the barbarian and all of the different stuff you can do with him. So it's got like different colors and makeups of things. Is super neat. They did say somewhere in here that focuses of later updates are going to be in-game systems and everything. Oh yeah, here we go. this is it. We hope you enjoy it and look forward to your thoughts and reactions. As always, let us know what topics you want to hear about in the future. Be sure to stay tuned as we're planning to delve deeper into the topics of sound design and in-game systems later this year. So, given how these updates have been going, I'm going to guess that sound design is going to be the first, and then in-game systems is probably going to be the end of year update. And then I'm assuming, and this is just me speculating right now, after the in-game systems, we get the next character at the next BlizzCon event, which is going to be another online thing in early 2021 to next year. In early 2022. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the YouTube video and you can go check it out. It's a really good look at what's to come in terms of the art style, which totally bang on, honestly. Huge kudos to the team. So I'm going to go back to my screen here. Now, there hasn't been a solid date announced for season 24. I'm just sort of assuming that it'll end on Sunday the 18th, and by that Friday, it'll be going on. Seems reasonable, generally within what they do for Diablo 3 seasons. A lot of times the patch will drop in between. Maybe this time what they'll want to do is stop on the 18th, drop a patch, and then start the next season on the 30th, which, might be a little nicer. So getting back to why the 23rd is so significant, it's that Project Diablo 2 is starting its third season that day. And their aim was to try and work around Path of Exile so they weren't clumping everything up. But apparently that just happens to be the day. In the world of Path of Exile, they did need another week. Everyone was hoping and thinking that the new league would start on the 16th. That is not the case. But it is going to start on the 23rd, and I won't be starting it until probably the Sunday, which is all fine and dandy. It's just the beginning, but I do hope it's good, and I'll probably skip all the day one stuff anyway, and skip all the queue issues that might come around, although I hope this one's better. So going on with the Path of Exile theme that we've hit, the new league has just been teased. We only have a short 18-second trailer of new league, and it is kind of dense in what it says, but also there's not a whole lot going on, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm not really going to show it because on the audio version, it's not really going to be a thing that comes through very well. But I would suggest going to watch it at pathofexile.com. Essentially, it shows 4 new skills. And it goes on to show kind of new stuff around the landscape. In the beginning of the trailer, we see a shadow walking in a map, and there's these posts with skulls on them that seem to be looking like Katarina skulls or something. We see some characters using some skills, and at the very end of the video, there's 4 new NPCs. We don't know what any of this is about, and on July 15th is when the full reveal happens. So that is a week tomorrow. And from the 15th, the new league is going to release about a week later. So the 23rd is when we'll get to actually play it. But the current Ultimatum League does end on the 15th. Does end soonish. There isn't actually an end date for Ultimatum yet, but I believe it'll be probably the 23rd as well. Just early in the day when they take the realm down for maintenance. On the topic of Ultimatum, there was a blog post saying that it's not going core yet. They want to do things to balance the mechanic and make it less overwhelming and, in their words, more tactical. There was a whole lot of stuff just sort of spawning in a circle and forcing you to kind of react to it without really thinking. It was just, oh, okay, well, this group of mobs, I should probably kill them. Which to an extent is fine. This league kind of mirrored a lot of what was going on with Ritual. I don't know if it was more interesting than Ritual. I kind of like the fact that with Ritual, you did have to be a little smarter with what was going on, especially when you were carrying mobs between maps and using the blood vessels. Obviously, it just captured a random amount of mobs, but that certain aspect of it was cool. With Ultimatum, I didn't really like how random the Trial Master was. I thought he should have showed up way more often. Especially when you consider the rarity of what Fate Forge was, and to my knowledge, those are going to be gone for a league. So they'll end up in standard, and they'll just be a legacy item. I'm sure they'll sell for quite a few mirrors. So that's going to be that for them. It's good that there's going to be a little less clutter. We have seen league mechanics in the past skip leagues before they went core, but I know that synthesis was really the one that didn't stick at all. Sure, we do have synthesized items, but we don't have the core that like game of it that we had when synthesis came out, when you were building that board and connecting areas and things like that. That's completely gone. After that, we had Harvest that skipped a league. Now we have it in the current state, which is not great. I think it still needs some balancing. And then Ultimatum now, which, like I said, is going to skip a league, I think, and come back in 316 maybe. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know if Hate Forge is going to stay anyway. I never found a pair. To be totally honest, I would have liked to. I think I only saw the Trial Master like a handful of times. And I did beat him all the time. So it's a bit of a toss-up, to be honest. Since I didn't get to try Hate Forge, I think it's a really neat chase item, and I think it would be neat if it stayed. Would have been cool to try it, to be honest. If you want to try and find a pair, you have like, what is it, a couple weeks left to go find them. But that will be it for them, at least, like I was saying, for now. In other Path of Exile news, I do have a mystery bag coming to me. They made some extra ExileCon merch available in the form of mystery boxes. So mine is being shipped, and I'm anxious to see what's in it. On the Path of Exile website, you can see that they've posted about stuff still being available, as well as a Solaris and Lunaris statue. I'll just display those briefly and see them here. I can leave a link to this post in the YouTube description as well. Really cool stuff. Yeah, so as for the new league, I'll know when you do on the 15th. I think I'm still gonna do my regularly scheduled episode on the Wednesday, get all primed up for the league announcement, and then after it comes out, I'll do another episode, depending on what kind of notes we have and how good it appears to be, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said, I will put something out in terms of that. But I'm not going to break my schedule. I have found that doing that really kind of messes with things in the end because you start chasing events and really getting away from timelines, to be honest. So I didn't think it was a productive thing to do. But yeah, that's it for the Path of Exile portion. Like I said, go watch the teaser trailer. It's 18 seconds. We know basically nothing about what's going on, but I hope the skills are cool. I'll probably try one or all of them out when they do get released. And yeah, in terms of other news, we have Lost Ark sort of waiting in the wing, just hoping and praying to come out. There's a beta coming up soon. I don't have the date of it yet, but let me just double check. Beta. Okay, we don't have a solid date for it yet, it seems. So some sources are saying July. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. It'll be good to have an actual open beta. I got to play in the closed alpha, and it'll, like I said, it'll be good to see how far it comes. They've been advertising pretty heavily on Twitter, at least that I've seen, and there's been some teaser stuff coming out. The biggest thing for Lost Ark has been this idea of pay to win, which I kind of talked about on stream. Honestly, for me, there's a couple ways to slice this, and some people might agree, some people might not. So for me, if you're going to call something pay to win, that means if you put money into the game, that means you're going to be just better at the game than other people. You're going to have some sort of advantage, some sort of power over someone who doesn't want to pay at all and just, comes in and wants to play the game without any frills or interruptions. But in terms of what I've been hearing for Lost Ark, this has none of that really. There isn't any mechanics that would give you such a huge advantage that would sort of force you to pay. This is all just, for me at least, what falls into convenience. I mean, if you want to shave a bit of time off and get to the end game a little bit faster, get a small boost, temporarily, fine. That sort of stuff happens in WoW. People who want character boosts because leveling up takes forever, totally understandable. But I don't think that's a pay to win mechanic because, I could go in as a totally inexperienced player, pay for the same thing, but my character build could be 100 times worse than someone who really knows what they're doing, bought the same boost as me, and just goes in and puts on like the best GG gear because they know their spec like the back of their hands. So it doesn't make me a better player, right? For having done that, it just saves a bit of time. And like I said, that's to me pay for convenience. And that's the type of stuff I like, or at least don't mind being available. And also, I don't mind cosmetic stuff. People have been pointing to the armor sets and stuff that we saw, for example, in the Diablo 4 update, saying, "Oh, are these just going to be available in game? And the answer is most likely yes. I doubt there's going to be anything in terms of selling those sort of cosmetics, just because, at least in Diablo, they haven't really even done that from what I know in the China client, and the game is free to play there. But um, they really just sell a lot of pets and wings, which really just add flavor. Honestly, just stuff you can show off with. We'll have horse mounts in Diablo 4, so maybe they'll sell cosmetics for that. Maybe different looks. In terms of the content, obviously it's going to be a more MMO leaning action RPG, which I think is great. I am anxious to know more about the mechanics of it and what we'll have to do in the end game. And I hope they really, like I said in the past, probably a few times, keep that slower sense of more like purposeful progression, and just have, the user be able to make mistakes. Have people say, "Oh, nuts! It takes too long to respec. Might as well just reroll," or what have you. Make a bad skill choice. I'm also hoping that, power creep is one thing, but I'm also hoping that time isn't the main factor for getting more powerful. I hope there's some gear chase, and I'm kind of a broken record in that respect. I've been saying it for a while, so I think it's time we put that item to rest, honestly. Either way, I know it'll be a great game in a lot of respects. It's doing a lot of new things that kind of break the mold of the action RPG as we know it, because it's not going to have those loading screens that we're used to. It's going to be a seamless world, and there's going to be a lot of other things that we get to interact with, essentially, that just will make things more interesting, give it a lot more flavor. Um, Other than that, I think we're about done. Um, like I said, we don't know when the next Diablo 3 season starts. For them, they like to drop a patch sort of in between when one season ends and the next season starts. They can just flip a switch and sort of be on autopilot. But Path of Exile likes to end and start kind of on the same day. So I'm sure earlier on the 23rd, it's going to end that particular league and then release the patch later on, and we'll be into 315. I'll be playing it, but like I said, I'll be late probably on the Sunday. I'll be able to get back to it. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. So what I'm going to do is take a very short intermission, and I'm going to come back and play some D2. So stick around. I'll just be a couple minutes. I'm really just going to stop and start again and make sure the category's updated. But I'll see you in a bit. And I'll have the audio version up either probably tomorrow. Yeah.